Thank you for joining us again for the drive back. Here we're doing a spoiler-filled discussion for Mortal Kombat, releasing this month, April 23rd. Super excited to talk about this movie. If you haven't seen our spoiler-free review, go make sure you watch that first and watch the movie. Please support this movie. Let's get it a sequel. Let's get the tournaments. Let's get Johnny Cage and all that fun stuff. I'm so looking forward to that, but we'll talk about that more here with the spoiler-free discussion. So we've already talked about the movie. We've given our scores. You gave it an 82. I gave it a 79. I think we can both agree that, I say this is the best video game adaptation we've received. You said it was one of the better ones, if not the best.
Yeah. I can't think of anything better off the top of my head, but I haven't really been thinking about it.
The only other movie that I would say is any, good would be the 1995 Mortal Kombat movie. So it's like...
Yeah, Assassin's Creed was not good at all.
No. Warcraft was okay.
Warcraft was okay. Tomb Raider was okay. The newer one. It definitely pulled from the newer trilogy pretty well. But yeah, I would say in terms of just raw feeling from a video game, this one was definitely leagues ahead. I never saw the Far Cry movie. How was that? Oh, it's awful. Okay, good.
It's one of the ones made by Bull. So just skip all his movies.
Gotcha. Okay.
But we're here talking about Mortal Kombat. Let's go ahead and dig into some spoilers. So, spoiler warning for Mortal Kombat if you have not seen it yet. Let's go over the biggest one. The biggest story spoiler that there is. Something that I kind of realized, at least from the trailers and kind of what they were going for, that Cole Young is a descendant of Hanzo Hasashi, otherwise known as Scorpion. What did you think?
Yeah, it's pretty obvious.
Yeah.
The movie hides it, but also shows you the shape of the object behind its back. Definitely tells you from the very beginning, with a lot of little things and just kind of by alluding to it. But I thought that made sense. I was a little disappointed when Scorpion dies in the beginning, and I was thinking wow, we're really not gonna get any more of that? And I thought maybe I was thinking about the trailer and thinking, okay, well, maybe that's a flashback we'll get. But I think it was a serviceable kind of lineage story. I agree with kind of what we said in the spoiler free, that the acting and the character arc just fell a little flat for his character. For Cole specifically.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I don't think it's completely horrible. I would say it's meh, if anything.
Yeah. It gets the job done. It takes you through the story, but that's pretty much it.
Yeah, and I seriously do blame the writers on this one, because I've watched a lot of interviews with the cast, and one of the Mortal Kombat YouTubers that I watch occasionally actually did interviews with the cast, and they all have a passion for this IP. They care about it. So
that's great.
It has to be the writers at this point that just don't make it that interesting. So
yeah.
But other story spoilers, we go, this movie does not take place during the actual Mortal Kombat tournament, which is, It felt like a weird choice to me for a while. I was like, man, are we going to get the tournament in this movie? And then I realized as it went on, oh shit, this is setting up the sequel, which is going to be the tournament. And hopefully the story...
Basically, this is kind of like the Outworld trying to cheat the tournament and defeat the champions of Earthrealm before the tournament happens.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So yeah, perfect setup for the next one. I'm excited.
Makes sense. That's literally how Shang Tsung works. So,
big spoiler: favorite fatality in the entire movie.
Oh yes.
Is when the guy, I forget his name, but he throws his hat shield, Kung Lao, onto the ground just like in the game. And it starts spinning like a saw, and then he just straight up splits someone in half.
Just straight up cuts Nataro in half.
They do not shy away. They literally show what someone looks like in half on camera, vertically.
So curious to see what Cassidy thought about that.
Cassidy thought that a couple things about this movie. Again, I did see it I said this in the other one, but I did see it in Dolby Atmos, so really, really good sound. But she said, too loud. There was a lot. It was a very loud movie, and just a lot of violence. Just like a lot of bones cracking, a lot of arms getting ripped off, a lot of death, a lot of swords through heads, a lot of heads exploding. Just nonstop violence pretty much. Literally, this movie is either ripping someone in half or they're talking at a dinner table, and it's either or. There is like zero intermediate, like, oh, they're building up to it. It is just full force action when it's action, and very story when it's story. But she I didn't get her final review on it, but I think she liked it.
Okay, and you know what? Hey, if she I don't know if she knows anything about Mortal Kombat.
Oh yeah, she's played, I think, all of them.
Oh, okay. Well, then there you go. But yeah, favorite fatality, easily Kung Lao's. I think one of the better moments is when Josh Lawson as Kano gets his, and he rips the reptilian's heart out and literally says Kano wins. And that moment is just spectacular. And Jax gets a pretty good one, too, when he just, like, thunderclaps Raiko's head off.
Yeah,
just like,
that was pretty good.
So that is totally awesome. Let's go ahead and talk other things in the movie that weren't, major things in the trailer. The tease and the setup for Johnny Cage.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
I'm excited for it.
Very smart how they didn't show his face.
I don't know if they've cast it or anything yet.
There's been discussions, I guess, on who should play the character. I'm in the camp that it should totally be The Miz from WWE, who is essentially Johnny Cage in real life as his Miz character. So that would be a fantastic casting choice.
That'd be fun.
I think Ryan Reynolds is way too far out of the league of a budget of a second movie to get for a role like that. And I don't think he would do it like that either. But I'm totally down for when Johnny Cage shows up because if Kano's not dead, I can tell you that. Because he gets stabbed through the eye, and in all the games, he has a robot eye. So, how else is he going to get that robot eye of his if he didn't get it,
I think that just makes sense for the second movie to have him return as a villain again. I think that's totally fine.
Yeah.
But one of my favorite parts in the whole movie, besides the fatality of the splitting in half, is Scorpion's actual reveal. The "get over here" catchphrase moment and the original Mortal Kombat video game music playing at the same time was like me in a Mountain Mike's Pizza restaurant playing Mortal Kombat on the arcade and beating subs. I mean, it was just such a like childhood moment of like, yes, like those are the two best characters. Like they're going at it.
Oh yeah.
And that was an awesome fight. That was amazing.
It's literally straight out of the video game.
100%
is incredible. We even got the ice clone that Bihan leaves behind. You get the ice wall he throws him into. The iconic "get over here" is still a thing. I don't know, my camera's freaking out.
Yeah, and he uses it. I mean, it's an awesome reveal when he says that. It's perfect.
After, this is a major spoiler, when Bihan dies, which I knew he was going to in this movie, which you may be thinking, Garrett, Adrian, what? How did Joe Taslim sign on for 4 more Mortal Kombat movies as Sub-Zero? Well, my dear listening person / viewer, Bihan has a brother, and Bihan's brother takes over as Sub-Zero. Now, Bihan is not truly dead. Bihan comes back as Noob Saibot, who has essentially that black inky ability that you see him disappear into. So they
that he's kind of teleporting around. Yeah,
which I am super down for. And even his outfit was more black than it was like blue kind of accents into it.
I'd agree.
Which I also think now that's also a tease for him becoming Noob Saibot as opposed to just, staying Sub-Zero. Because I feel like Scorpion at least had some yellow on his outfit, as he does in the game.
A little bit of gold, Yeah,
which that's the other thing we didn't talk about this in the spoiler-free discussion. The costuming in this movie is a game compared, as in relation to translation from the game.
I think it's interpreted very well. They're definitely not like taken verbatim from the game, but they're definitely done tastefully that fit the tone of the movie.
Oh yeah,
100%. I was super interested with Cole's outfit with the bracelet that turns into like that armor thing. I thought that was pretty. It looked nice with you could see the dragon through it kind of thing. That was pretty cool. Yeah, and then I think the costuming was great. I think it was good.
And honestly, I do want to say this now that I'm thinking about it. The ability that Cole has is actually really cool compared to like a lot of the other abilities that characters have in Mortal Kombat. Like the fact that it's kind of like Black Panther's suit, how it absorbs shockwaves and he can like send it out, isn't something that's in the games. So I give them full props for making it a character who has at least an interesting ability.
I also think that that's a really interesting character to put into the next video game or as a DLC, because I think the idea of being really, really strong and doing a lot of damage, but needing to take damage first is a very interesting ability that I think could play into a video game, into Mortal Kombat specifically, really, really well.
It'd be very hard.
Like having to get hit.
I don't know how they would do it. Again, I'm not a game developer though, so I can't say anything. But the other costume I specifically wanted to speak about though is Cabal. Cabal looked fantastic.
He looked like he was from a whole nother movie. Well, he looked so different.
In the trailers, I was like, man, he kind of looks junky, like he's just covered in trash. But you get a careful look in the movie. It's like a military uniform because he was a mercenary. Yeah. And then the arms are missing because he's all burnt up as he is in the game. Yep. And whoever did the voice, I don't have the name on me right now. Whoever did the voice nailed Cabal.
Oh yeah, he sounds so good,
perfect. And he was such like a snarky asshole and trying to get Kano to work. Oh my gosh, it was so good. And Kano flipping sides, by the way, I was like, I'm so glad that happened because it's hard to frame Kano as a hero.
Yeah, and they were trying really hard, but he was kind of like the anti-hero. Like you knew he was not good, but he was going to help anyway. And then the flip was very, very much welcomed. I think it definitely added to his character and fit the story much, much better.
Definitely. I'm trying to think of anything else that's not really a spoiler because there's a lot of stuff that was talked about in or shown in the trip. Oh, that is another thing I wanted to talk about. Character deaths. Now, obviously, we get characters that are not important to the storyline that are killed, like Raiko, who gets his head, smashed in by Jax. I think it's Nataro, who's the Batwing lady who gets sawed in half by Kung Lao. But there were a couple of character deaths that really confused me as to why they put it in, and hopefully those characters are able to come back in some way, even though fatalities are how you kill the character for good. First off, Cabal, which is a pretty big character to kill off in the first movie. Same with Goro. Like, Cole just kills Goro in this movie, which is cool, great for Cole, but Goro's a big character.
But there's a lot of character. I mean, I think that's kind of the thing is they wanted to add weight to the movie that not all the main characters live. And I think that's actually one of my biggest gripes with a lot of movies is they don't have the stakes high enough.
Yeah.
And you're always like, oh, well, that's Sub-Zero. There's no way they're going to get rid of Sub-Zero. Mm-hmm. Boom, done. And to me, I think that subversion of expectations is welcomed in my book. I think it's cool, and they have a huge cast of characters to choose from for future movies.
Before we get to that, I do want to mention, what did you think of them killing off Kung Lao?
Yeah, I mean, again, very main character. Literally, probably one of the iconic top 5 or 6 that everyone knows. I thought it again. I didn't really think negatively about it. I don't think I think positively of it either. I think to me it just showed that any of these characters could die. That there is no one. They're not holding out they're untouchable. I was honestly expecting, maybe Raiden's gonna die. I was at that point where I was unsure, so I felt more invested in every fight because I wasn't sure who was gonna come out on top and who was gonna lose.
Yeah, I'm a little disappointed in killing Kung Lao off, though. He is an important character. But to be fair, I think it's Mortal Kombat 9, where he is killed off by by Shao Kahn, and that drives Liu Kang to be the chosen one and win the tournament. Yeah. So maybe it'll be the driving factor for Liu Kang to really step forward and be the true chosen one.
Yeah, and I think that he kind of says that in his fight when he's like, "For Kung Lao," like he totally goes and owns it. And I also loved when Cole and Scorpion are fighting Sub-Zero, and Sub-Zero looks like he's about to leave the cage match, and then he just turns and locks the gate and stays in the match, and it's like basically it's basically a look at the camera, and he's like, someone's gonna die in this cage. Like it is a crazy cool moment of like, they're locked in and something's gonna happen. And I think that was great. I think that was a great moment for sure.
You know what? That leads me to a question though. When it comes to cast of characters, I don't know how big of a fan you are of Mortal Kombat, but using the knowledge you do have, are there any characters that you would like to see in the next movie besides Johnny Cage?
I don't know if I know all the characters that well.
Well, anyone that you do know, really.
I would really like to see the big fat monk character, the big fat drunk guy. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, he's name dropped in the movie.
Yes, he is. Who else is there? Oh, I'd like to see the person that kind of it's like the male version of the girl with the mouth that opens up a ton. That's the guy version though. Yeah, I'd like to see him because I feel like they kind of tease species with her, so I want to see him come in. And then
Melina is a clone of oh my god, Katana. But a Katana mixed with a Tarkatan, which is what Baraka is. So Melina might not be gone either. I think she might come back as another clone.
That was actually something I was a little disappointed that we didn't just get Katana.
They definitely teased her fans in there, though.
Yeah, but I think like to me, I felt like that was an easy insert, and I was a little bummed that we didn't just like get that outright because she's also probably one of the top 4 iconic characters. Mm-hmm. So I was a little bit disappointed. So I guess in the next one, I'd like to see her come in somehow.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
For me, I mean, when I say I'm a fan of Mortal Kombat, I'm a fan of the game since Mortal Kombat 9, where the story's been consistent and the characters have been consistent. That being said, I have a laundry list that I'd love to see.
Well, there's what is there now? Like 50 different characters or something?
100. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but
okay, well, here's my 2. I'd like to see Alien and Predator because they're in the 11th one.
Not including DLC characters. I would like to see more of the ninjas. I would actually like to see Smoke. Mm-hmm. I'd like to see a true reptile. I would like to see Rain, who is the water themed ninja. Non-ninja characters, I would love to see Aaron Black in the films, which is he's like the gunslinger cowboy.
Yeah. See, I just don't know the names. Like I can literally picture them all in my head. I just don't know their names.
Yeah, and again on the newer characters, I'd love to see Kotal Khan, who is the like Aztec-inspired outworld leader. Devora would be interesting. I hate bugs in real life, but I'd love to see Devora in the game. And then, I mean, even some of the most classic characters, I mean, Katana and Jade are the 2 big ones.
Yeah.
And maybe, obviously, we're going to get Shao Kahn at some point, so they have to make sure they get the right person to play Shao Kahn. But then also, that means, you will get his wife, who I'm completely blanking on right now, Sindel. Would love to see Sindel played by someone who's very talented and not the, horrible one from Annihilation.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
Too bad you will die. But anyhow, that's pretty much an end for the spoiler. There's not a lot of stuff that's really spoilers in this movie. I mean, there's the plot elements that are obviously important, but overall, I mean, the more I sit here talking about this movie, it's got its flaws, but damn, is this movie so much fun.
Yeah, it's just a blast. I mean, I found myself in the theater that was cheering, audibly going when oh my gosh, when Jax gets his like big arms when he's lifting the rock. I actually audibly went, this movie is insane. Like, it was, but in the best way. Like, it wasn't bad. It was just so fun and so like video gamey and so like plot doesn't matter at this point. Let's just get crazy.
Yeah.
And when it turned it up to 11, the movie gets even more fun, and it is just a blast to watch.
Yeah, the last half of this movie is definitely the better half.
It's just the largest, longest fight on camera, probably.
But anything else you want to talk about before we wrap this up?
No, I think it's great. I think you should definitely go see it if you're up for the violence and the lots of punching noises.
Yes, and remember that this movie is available on HBO Max for the next month, in addition to in theaters. I mean, we both obviously always prefer to see it in theaters, but if you are not able to, if you don't feel safe yet, because we are still in the midst of the pandemic, go ahead, watch it at home. Please support this movie. We deserve a sequel. Because I think if this came out in normal time with no pandemic, this would be a huge success.
Oh, I think it'd be a blockbuster for sure. I think it's. I hope it still is. But I hope there's some new metric where they're counting like HBO streams as well, and maybe like all those that are paying for HBO count as a ticket purchase or something like that.
And I don't think that this movie has a large budget, so it's not going to be hard for it to make back its money.
Well, the CGI probably was at least a little pricey.
Yeah, but they use a lot of practical, and it's only an hour and 45 minutes maybe.
That's true. There were times where I could tell that Sub-Zero's ice sword was a prop. And for very brief glimpses, but the close-up shots and the CGI of the ice actually forming is amazing.
It's pretty good, actually. It's very good.
Yeah.
So... But all right, well, that's going to bring us to an end for this spoiler-filled discussion for Mortal Kombat. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe down below to know when we're putting out future videos, future content, and future podcast episodes. But if you want to follow us and get some news, Adrian, where can they find us online?
You can find us at the Drive Back Podcast on all social medias. Make sure, to check us out. We always post whenever we have a new like Spotify podcast or one that you can actually stream on iTunes. We do have a lot more YouTube exclusive videos now because we like you being able to see us and we like to see you guys. That's how that works. I see you back there. But go ahead and follow us on all social media. We love to say hi, shoot us a movie recommendation or whatever you got. Even if you have some trivia for us, we always love to learn some trivia. But here on YouTube, just like Garrett said, go ahead and like, subscribe, comment down below, but make sure to hit that little bell that you see, and you'll always be up to date on new big movies that come out. Garrett and I love going to the movies to actually see them, so we try to get those reviews out to you guys as soon as possible, and the more people that get notified, the more likely we are to keep doing it.
Absolutely. So thank you for listening, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time on The Drive Back.